Was Viserys I the right man for the Iron Throne? Many would say no, pointing to the devastating civil war that followed his reign. But who else could have taken his place? Today, we read diving deep into one of the most compelling what-ifs in Westerosi history. What if the rogue prince, Daemon Targaryen, had become king? Would his reign have saved the Seven Kingdoms, or plunged it into an even darker age? Let's set the stage. King Jaehaerys I, the old king, faced a succession crisis. After his sons passed, he convened the Great Council of 101 AC to choose his heir. The final choice was between his grandson, Viserys, and his granddaughter, Rhaenys. But lurking in the background was Jaehaerys' other grandson, Viserys' younger brother, Daemon. While not a primary claimant at the council, his ambition was undeniable. From a young age, Daemon was a true Targaryen. He was a gifted warrior, earning the Valyrian steel sword Dark Sister at just 16. He was charming, daring, but also possessed a rebellious spirit that constantly put him at odds with the court. He thirsted for power and glory, not content to live in his brother's shadow. This restless energy earned him the nickname the Rogue Prince. He was a political wildcard feared on the battlefield, but seen as dangerously unpredictable in the Red Keep. This reputation both fueled his ambition and simultaneously held him back. While Viserys was seen as the safe, respectable choice, Daemon was the embodiment of Targaryen fire and blood. So what kind of king would this fiery prince have been? Let's start with his greatest strength: war. Daemon was, without a doubt, one of the most formidable warriors of his generation. His campaign in the Stepstones is a masterclass in leadership and strategy. While his brother Viserys dithered, Daemon took direct action. He allied with Corlys Velaryon, carved out his own kingdom, and personally slew the crab feeder in single combat. This wasn't just a victory, it was practical experience in ruling. He managed an army, navigated alliances, and established control over a notoriously difficult region. As king, this decisive nature would have been a powerful asset. Imagine a threat to the realm arising. Would King Daemon send ravens and deliberate for months? Unlikely. He'd mount his dragon Caraxes and deal with the problem directly. And let's talk about the dragons. As a powerful and experienced dragon rider, Daemon would have commanded immense respect and fear. No lord would dare challenge a king who had proven his willingness to use dragonfire to achieve his goals. While Viserys saw dragons as a deterrent, Daemon saw them as an active tool of power. His reign would have been one of undisputed Targaryen supremacy, backed by the might of the greatest beasts in the world. He might have maintained order through strength, his fearsome reputation alone possibly preventing the kind of scheming and dissent that plagued Viserys' court. Rebellions might have been crushed before they even began. However, a king needs more than a strong sword arm. And this is where Daemon's Targaryen temperament becomes a massive liability. For all his strategic brilliance, Daemon was dangerously volatile and impulsive. Think about his actions. He stole a dragon egg, declared himself the king of the Narrow Sea partly to spite his brother, and had a habit of letting his anger dictate his choices. These weren't the actions of a measured diplomat. A monarch must navigate the delicate web of politics spun by the great houses. They need tact, patience, and the ability to compromise. Daemon possessed none of these qualities. His style was direct, confrontational, and often violent. He made enemies as easily as he breathed. Imagine him trying to negotiate with the cunning Lannisters or the proud Starks. He would likely see diplomacy as a weakness, preferring intimidation over persuasion. This approach could have easily alienated powerful lords, isolating the crown and sowing the seeds of rebellion. His reign wouldn't just risk instability, could have tipped into outright tyranny. A man who struggles with self-control when given absolute power is a terrifying prospect. Would his personal grievances and hot-headedness lead to unjust punishments and a kingdom ruled by fear? It's a very real possibility. But let's look beyond the battlefield and the temper tantrums. Did Daemon have any vision for Westeros? It's harder to say, as his motivations were often so personal. However, we can speculate. Daemon clearly valued power and wealth. As king, he might have pursued aggressive economic policies. Perhaps he would have reformed taxation to fill the crown's coffers, or used his military might to strong-arm trade deals with the free cities, flitching the realm through conquest and intimidation. What about justice? During his time as commander of the City Watch, he brought order to King's Landing with a brutal, unforgiving hand. Criminals were punished swiftly and harshly. As king, he might have applied this same black-and-white sense of justice across the Seven Kingdoms. While this could have reduced crime, it would also likely eliminate nuance and mercy, creating a rigid and potentially cruel legal system. Culturally, a Westeros under King Daemon would be a realm focused on martial prowess and Targaryen exceptionalism. Art, philosophy, and diplomacy might wither, replaced by tournaments, military parades, and a constant show of draconic power. It would be a strong Westeros, but perhaps a colder, harder one. So we arrive at the ultimate question. Could King Daemon have prevented the Dance of the Dragons? The answer is complex. If Daemon had been named heir over Viserys, or if he had taken the throne after Viserys' death instead of it being contested, the specific conflict between Rhaenyra and Aegon II would have been avoided. The line of succession would be clear. However, that doesn't mean peace was guaranteed. Daemon's confrontational nature would have created entirely new conflicts. How would he have handled Otto Hightower's ambition? He likely would have removed him and anyone like him permanently and violently, which could have sparked a different kind of civil war. His relationships with the great houses would be a tightrope walk. He might forge strong alliances with houses that respected strength, like the Baratheons or perhaps even the Greyjoys. But he would surely alienate others who valued tradition and diplomacy, like the Arryns or Tyrells. In the end, Daemon Targaryen as king is a double-edged sword. On one hand, his strength, decisiveness, and military genius could have forged a powerful, stable, and unified Westeros, silencing dissent and expanding Targaryen influence. He might have been the strong hand the realm needed, averting the slow decay seen under Viserys. On the other hand, his impulsiveness, his violent temper, and his lack of diplomatic skill could have led to a reign of terror, alienating his allies and ruling through fear. Instead of the Dance of the Dragons, Westeros might have suffered the tyranny of the rogue king. The history of Westeros would have been dramatically different, but whether it would have been better is the question we left to ponder. Would you have bent the knee to King Daemon? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy diving into the fascinating what-ifs of history and fiction, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would Daemon have been a great king or a great tyrant? See you in the next video.